advance.
King of no give, right? Go there to the other side. All right, guys, seniors face the flag. Seniors do first. Come on, go. Good. Get the distance. As soon as you get out, get the distance, Martin. Always, whenever you stream, put these hands just to make sure they can know where you're at. Just to make sure, yeah, not just kind of, but even the distance.
The people out there who are competition fighters, what do you think the most common mistake is when they're putting together training strategies?
Okay, if you are competing in any discipline, MMA, submission grappling, Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing, anything, it's very important for you to know that it's not all the time that the best fighter wins, you know. I'm seeing a lot of guys being the champions and they are not even close to be the best Jiu-Jitsu or MMA fighters on the division, you know. So I think a really important thing if you're a competitor that you have to understand completely the rules of the kind of combat sport that you're going to be competing in. You know, a deep knowledge of the rules is really important because, like I said, you know, I'm seeing lack of talent and I'm seeing like smart strategy beating natural talent and things like that. So I really think that the most important thing to begin with is for you to have a good and a clear understanding of the rules, you know. After that, you're gonna train on top of this. You know, we're talking a little bit also about how MMA changed when there was no time limit and everything like that. When you have time limit, for example, you cannot do like a completely open fight and a completely fight disregarding the time limit or disregarding the rules. You can't do that, otherwise you're gonna lose, you know. So it's important for you to master the rules, master the strategy, what strategy you're gonna do, apply to these rules, and also have to know your capabilities. Because like I said, it doesn't mean that if you are better than the guy that you're gonna beat him all the time. And doesn't mean that if the guy is better than you that you cannot beat him. I'm seeing this, I see this every day. You know, so I think that's a lot to do with that. I think the training has to be guided by that. And of course, maybe the most important thing of everything besides of technique and physical condition, I'm not going to be talking too much about that, I think is your mindset. I mean, you have to have the mindset of a champion. You have to really have a strong self-confidence on you, but the self-confidence cannot be like a cockiness, you know, it cannot be like something that is like arrogance, you know. You have to be something that you really believe in yourself and you believe you can beat anybody in any given day and stick to that.
To touch on something you said earlier and what they're kind of asking here, do you think the structure of the way MMA fights are set right now should be changed, like as far as how long the time limits are, or you know how long the rounds are, or the judging or anything like that?
I think the evolution of the sport, I think what's going on today is that it has to be done, you know, like the people are so even nowadays that if you do like no time limit matches, you know, you're gonna have events is gonna be taking 4 days, you know what I mean? So I think that's nothing you can do about the time. Also, there's TV evolved, so the TV generates a lot of money, so they don't want to be something that they want to see something that's going to take forever to finish. One thing that I really like to see changing is the way they judge the fight. You know, like I'm seeing some really bad decisions. You know, like and you can see clearly that whoever is taking that is doing those decisions are people who doesn't have any clue about MMA. They come from other combat sports, but then I have a clue about MMA. And normally the guys who are judging MMA nowadays are from the boxing commissions, you know. So they tend, so they tend to think that it's kind of like a kickboxing or boxing match, you know. And MMA is like there's more techniques involved in MMA than a Russian ballet, you know, like Enzo says. So that's really essential for these guys to be more prepared and more aware of all the techniques and all the games that the MMA brings, you know. And then I think that's the weak spot on MMA right now is the judging, you know.
With the Olympics coming to Brazil in 2012, do you think it will be added to the sports that are being held there?
I don't think so, unfortunately. I mean, I don't even say if it's unfortunately, because for sport to be accepted in the Olympics, that's a big deal. Like there's a lot of bureaucracy. You know, they have to have like a minimum number of federations, and They have to have like a certain proved number of practitioners. And I mean, unfortunately, what happens to Jiu-Jitsu and happens to a lot of other martial arts is that even though we have an official organization, which is the IBJJF, International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation, there's a lot of small leagues, there's a lot of other organizations that they claim themselves as international, and they claim themselves as having world titles. This is the worst thing that can happen for a sport to be accepted in the Olympics. You know, so the other day I was here and I opened my mail, and then there was I don't even remember which organization it was, but saying World Jiu-Jitsu Championships, you know, and then divisions, 3-year-olds, 6-year-olds, you know. I mean, it's a joke, you know. And here in America it's funny because you see that most of the guys from the small leagues, they do tournaments like karate guys. They are not even jiu-jitsu guys, you know. So the Olympic Committee looks at that, and they kind of have a bad taste in their mouth, you know. They don't see all the work that, you know, Carlos Gracie Jr. is doing for all these years to try to organize the sport, to try to make it official with standard rules, and then people come and do a tournament with completely different rules, you know what I mean? It's like having like a boxing tournament, and another league does a boxing in another rule. You know, yeah. It doesn't make sense. But unfortunately, Jiu-Jitsu, you know, a lot of guys are taking the bandwagon of Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. They want to make a quick buck, you know. And then whenever they're not making a quick buck, they're gonna give up anyways. They don't do this for the love like we do. Even if Jiu-Jitsu doesn't give money, me, Master Carlos, and all these people are still gonna teach and still gonna do Jiu-Jitsu. You know, it's our life. These other guys, you know, whenever you know, speeding on distance is going to give more money to Jiu-Jitsu, they're not going to give a dime for Jiu-Jitsu, they're going to be doing for this, you know what I mean? So, and this is putting us behind a lot on that. So I really think it's going to be different for Jiu-Jitsu to be at the Olympics in 2012.
If you could watch any dream BJJ match, who would it be and why?
You can mix them up, whatever.
About like different times?
Yeah, different time, anything.
Even though it's impossible to compare like fighters from different times, because different times have different realities, it's a really, really hard thing to do. You know, like people just think about how would it be, you know. But I would really like to see, you know, a fight between Halls Gracie, that was the #1 of the family for a long time, against Rickson Gracie. That would be, I mean, they're brothers, they're never going to fight, but I mean, I don't even say a fight, but I would see like them on top of their shapes doing like a training, you know, against each other, you know, not to see who wins or who doesn't win, just to learn a lot on that.
Watch the magic.
Watch the magic. That would be like a dream, not match up in a tournament, but a dream training or a dream, you know, Jiu-Jitsu exhibition, I would say, to see. That would be awesome.
Like what Rickson and Hoyler kind of did at one time?
Yeah, Rickson and Hoyler trained a lot, but
they did one in a ring somewhere in Japan.
I think Hoyler, even though Halls was a lightweight also, he was a little bigger than Hoyler, and I think it would be a better matchup, you know. I think Hoyler's too small for Rickson. Halls and Hoyler would be also good, you know, both on the top of their shape. You know, on their pick, it would be good. You know, I think you have to say somebody from the Gracie family. Always, all the Jiu-Jitsu that you know for the Gracie family, so we're always going to go from them. You know, maybe Roger and Rickson also will be good.
I was thinking that was the first
Roger
one.
and Rickson will be good to see. It will be good to see.
Ready? All right, thanks, Drac.
That's it.
That's it.
Go!
All right.